This video is a survival guide for getting through the next 4 years of the Labour government. If you're watching from outside the UK, we'd be terribly grateful if you could arrange a concert like Live Aid to raise money for us, because before too long, British people are going to be living like refugees, and ironically, people who came to this country illegally, falsely claiming to be refugees, well, they get a few years in a luxury hotel, access to private healthcare that most Brits can't afford, they're given pocket money, driving lessons, and when the time comes, they're bumped to the start of the housing list. Public sector workers, and for people outside the UK, these are people who work for the state, so that's civil servants, doctors, teachers and such like, as well as the army of faithless pen-pushing bureaucrats squandering our money. What you'll be required to do is fit a larger letterbox to your front door, so that the Chancellor, Rachel Reeves, can come round every week and just shovel money through it. And if you're not happy with your pay in a job which you applied for and agreed on the salary, simply threaten to go on strike and the government will immediately cave into your demands. Private sector workers expect to be taxed on everything because government borrowing is completely out of control, so they will tax you on everything up to and including the steam coming off your piss, which Ed Miliband will then claim is causing global warming. Also, prepare to be very, very hungry because many farmers are going out of business due to changes in inheritance tax, and Red Ed, Mad Miliband, is hell-bent on covering every square foot of the country with either solar panels or wind farms. So even if there is a farmer willing to grow something, he won't have anywhere to grow it. Luckily, next spring, the government are decriminalising the vagrancy bill, so it's okay to be a rough sleeper. So when inflation goes completely out of control and people start losing their houses, at least they'll be permitted to starve to death in one of the local parks, where they can be viewed by fighting-age Afghan men from their rooms at the Hilton. Unless, of course, the park has a playground in it, in which case they'll be there filming the children. However, following today's spending announcements, we can all expect by the end of the year, when the next budget is announced, that the economy will completely collapse. We're also being warned we could have blackouts this year, so for anyone wanting to relive the halcyon days of the 1970s, it's coming this year. Although I think it'll be worse than the 1970s. When there's a run on the pound, and the currency is effectively worthless, we're going to have to come up with some form of medieval bartering system. But ladies, good luck for you, prostitution will always be a viable option. Another thing we can expect is a summer of rioting. It's already kicking off in Northern Ireland, but when isn't it? But this time it isn't sectarian violence. This is the people of Ballymena who've had enough of mass uncontrolled immigration, because a 14-year-old girl was allegedly sexually assaulted, and the two young men who've been charged needed an interpreter in court because they don't speak English. You can't make this shit up. Naturally, everyone who objects to foreigners molesting children is being labelled as a far-right racist. But here's a tip. If this summer you do fancy doing some rioting or any form of civil disobedience and you have this skin colour, simply black up like Al Jolson. Now, some people will say that's racist, and of course it is. But something miraculous will happen, because in Starmer's Britain, the local constabulary, the police, can only observe crimes if they're being committed by white people. Also, if you have an unhealthy interest in young children, as well as blacking up, wear traditional Islamic robes and write taxi down the side of your car, and the wooden tops will let you go about your dastardly business. What else do we need to do to prepare for 4 years of Starmer's Britain? Well, I think we need to treat it a bit like the start of the pandemic. Stock up on essentials. So, tinned goods, pasta, toilet roll, batteries, medical supplies, and a means to defend yourself. You see, when the new tax rises kick in, and all the millionaires and train drivers have left the UK, although they're often one and the same, society is going to break down and the UK is going to look like an apocalyptic TV show. So do some research now by watching series like The Walking Dead and The Last of Us. Only watch the first series of The Last of Us, the second one's shit. So when society breaks down completely and you need to defend yourself against raiders, obviously a simple kitchen knife is effective. However, you want to keep them at arm's length. So with that in mind, I would recommend using a sword, much more effective. For the people who break into your house determined to kill you for your last tin of Spam, protect your Spam. Of course, projectile weapons are more effective, like a pistol, that's quite useful, but again, it's not very accurate over much of a distance. So with that in mind, you're better off with a rifle fitted with a telescopic sight. That way you can pick them off, half a mile from your house. However, there will be a problem with munitions. They'll get used up very, very quickly. And you can only fire a bullet once. That's why my weapon of choice, come the next year of the Labour government, is a bow. You fire a bullet once, the same arrow can take down 10 raiders. Of course, I'm joking. Just today, the Chancellor said she's going to end the dependency on migrant hotels. So I'm guessing in the next couple of years, British people will be marched out of their houses, and if it transpires they didn't vote Labour in the last election, they'll be rounded up and shot. That way, their houses can be given to families of Pakistanis, say a mum, a dad and 18 kids, none of whom have any intention of ever working. I knew it would be bad under a socialist government. I just wasn't aware that Labour's policies are based on National Socialism. Coming up to the end of the video, just to clarify something, these guns are not firearms, they are air weapons. They're totally legal in the UK. I've had them since I was 14 years old. Anyway, that's the end of this short video. If you enjoyed it, please do like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you could like and comment on the video or share it, that really helps the algorithm. If you would like to support me in making these videos, there's a link in the description to buy me a coffee and to my Patreon. And as ever, thanks for watching. Please be aware this entire video was sarcasm.